Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you are doing great. So today we'll be talking something very important. It looks like Zionists and all these Jewish Zionists think that we are stupid, you know. They think that we are not smart enough. We are not learned at all. I mean, they think that, I don't know how they think we reason. But when you look at it, they are really the very stupid people, you know. Someone who actually tweeted that Zionist is sexy. I mean, being a Zionist is very sexy, and says some other things about what is going on all over the world. And for somebody to come out to defend Israel over what they are doing, and all of a sudden the person is coming back to tell us that he wants peace all over the world. See, he came out to apologize because it is going to affect his career, or it is already affecting his career and also affecting the people he works with. So they told him to come out to say that he is sorry. And when he said that he was misunderstood and misconstrued. Like, bro, people are quoting what you said. This is not a matter of misunderstanding or misconstruction and all that. We quote what you said. You know what? Let's get into this video.
So first things first, I've seen it, but let's talk about it. And before we actually watch the video, because we're going to watch the full video, but before we watch this video, what I want to ask you to do is something that is going to be very difficult. And I want you to suspend any knowledge that you have of the background context. I want you, as you're watching this, to pretend like you know nothing about what's going on and nothing that this is pertaining to. I want your mind, as best you can, to be blank.
Hey guys, it's Noah. I just wanted to come on here super briefly just to discuss everything that's been going on online. I feel like my thoughts and beliefs have been so far misconstrued from anything even close to what I believe. And I wanted to just state from my heart how I feel. I only want peace and safety and security for all innocent people affected by this conflict. I've had many open discussions with friends from Palestinian background, and I think those are very important conversations to have, and I've learned a lot. And one of the takeaways I've had is that we all hope for the same things, that being those innocent people still being held hostage in Gaza to be returned to their families, and equally hope for an end to the loss of innocent life in Palestine, so many of those people being women and children. And it's horrible to see. And I think anyone with any ounce of humanity would hope for an end to the hostility on both sides. I stand against any killing of any innocent people, and I hope you guys all do too. And I just hope to one day see those two groups be able to live harmoniously together in that region. And I hope for 2024 online to see people be a little more understanding and compassionate and recognize that we're all human, regardless of our race, of our ethnicity, of our background, of our country of birth, of even our sexuality, of anything. We are all human and we're all the same. And we should all love each other for that and support each other and stand together. And stand together for humanity and for peace.
Okay, so first things first. This is a very sterile statement, and it was written and managed. If you notice, he keeps looking off to the left of the screen in the exact same spot. It looks like it was written down and he's reading off of that. And this, to me, does not read as just part of a PR firm or somebody who works in PR telling him what to say. These actually sound like advocacy point notes. So when you work in advocacy or lobbying, usually there's like a bullet point list you will give the people that are going to speak to politicians, to the public, stakeholders, and you essentially give them the framing of how you want them to talk about an issue. That's exactly what that reads like to me. And part of what gives this away to me is the way he said Palestinian. Because if you notice, he first started saying Palestine, not Palestinian, and said instead of Palestine, Palestinian background. And part of why that matters is because he does not want to affirm the state of Palestine, but rather acknowledge people of Palestinian backgrounds. That is a very big difference. And it is something that somebody who would not want the public acknowledging the state of Palestine to say. That slip up is crucial. Another thing that indicates how managed this is the I'm in open conversations and learning from the marginalized people that have been insulted by my rhetoric. I'm learning, listening, and growing. That's the bread and butter of a lot of these apologies that we see online. Another thing that I noticed is the weaponization of innocence, and I've seen this across the internet since October 7th. The loss of innocent life, the loss of innocent women and children. When 6,000 bombs are dropped in an open-air concentration camp, there is no differentiation between the innocent and the guilty. There isn't even the differentiation between hostage and civilian. So to act like any of these demographics are to be seen with care is laughable. Another thing that I keep hearing is the word peace. We just want peace. We just want peace. Peace is not possible under occupation. But the word peace in a statement like this is designed to essentially flatten the issue as merely a conflict, which again is passive rhetoric. What we're watching is a genocide. Peace is merely comfortability for those in power. There are other things that we could talk about with this video, but I want to know your observations as well. But I also want to touch upon why this video is being made. Why this statement, because it's not an apology, why this statement is being made. This statement is being made because of what we already saw. What shifted the ignorant impartiality of most Americans after October 7th was not merely the advocacy of Palestinians, which, by the way, and I've reiterated multiple times, has been excellent. It has been how anti-Palestinian advocates have acted with glee and abandon in their rhetoric, as well as the juxtaposition between how they are talking about Palestinians versus how Palestinians are advocating for themselves. This statement is being made because they are being judged by the actions of people posting with glee at the genocide of Palestinians. And now, their work, their livelihoods, and their public image is tied to the people who share political values with them. Nothing has been misconstrued. People are not confused. And the aspect of this that has done some of the heaviest lifting on reducing that confusion or impartiality has been people who, in the midst of scrolling between people getting amputations with anesthesia and the limp bodies of children pulled from the rubble, and mothers crying over the bodies of their children, and fathers attempting to excavate anything left of their family members with their bare hands from the rubble, that in the midst of all that, he decided to post about how being Zio is sexy.
Rating Noah Schnapp's acknowledging on a scale of 1 to 10 because, again, there was no apology to be seen. We'll make this quick. Negative 85 million thousand out of 10. I'll also rate his acting the same, and I will also rate the person who was moderating his comments earlier the same as well. But leaving this kind of stuff up, Noah, we all make mistakes. Everyone took it wrong. It isn't your fault, okay? You don't need to apologize. Guess what, 011 Jane-L? It's not your apology to accept or direct. Back to Noah. Noah is a Zionist white supremacist who likes to use Judaism as a cover, as other Zionists tend to also do. The thing about Zionists is that they forget that Judaism is a religion, that there is a value and a moral foundation attached to it, that there is tradition, that it is not just a fucking war cry for bombs and blood revenge. But that is a Zionist toolkit, and it is a very tired one. Also featured in the toolkit, of course, is the rushing to call every person who is not Jewish who criticizes Israel's genocide of Gaza an anti-Semite, or calling people who are Jewish but who also criticize Israel's genocide of Gaza a self-hating Jew, and then also calling people who are Jewish but not European descended Jews who are criticizing Israel's genocide of Gaza. You just say that they're not actually real Jews. They wouldn't actually understand. On top of that, there was a never-ending deflection and scapegoating of everyone as Hamas, which would be me, him, he is so cute, kids, press, ambulance drivers. I think South Africa and like all the barristers and the ICJ are also now Hamas, as is Turkey, the cats, the dogs. Like, it's very hard to keep up at this point. And also in that toolkit is the gaslighting and the lying. The gaslighting is always expected. I wrote about this in mid-October, where I said very clearly that you are in a never forget moment, and to not forget, because there are lots of people working overtime to make sure that you do, to convince you that what they said never happened. What you saw, what you read, what you felt was not real, to convince you see that what is happening is a normalized byproduct of conflict, that there is some sort of acceptable level of harm allowed, and that what you're seeing is a suitable reaction on a suitable scale, and that it is not. Noah is at his lying and his gaslighting phase. His family, his social ecosystem allowed him comfort in his thoughts. He was failed, but he's not a baby. He's a grown man, and he is a grown man who's failed himself. 100 days of him posting on here without a care in the world, with intentional ignorance. This was his response to your comments, to your concerns, to your outrage. Like, this was his response the first month in, the first 10,000 dead, to like parade these Zionism as sexy stickers around New York City and on his social media channels to millions of followers. This is not his response. This is a poorly acted ploy thrown up in response to a fucking season announcement that I'm sure he hoped would have gotten lost in Emmy's coverage, but it didn't. White men deserve consequence. Let your show flop. Let them fire you. Let people pirate it off of like illegal streaming sites. Let them cancel the whole thing. Like, oh, well, that hurts everyone. Yeah, well, Noah loves collective punishment. Anyway, the broken record on this account is that Zionism is white supremacy, and I don't accept apologies from white supremacists. No one is waiting for a Zionist to come around and say, oh my God, you're right, nuking people as they fucking sleep, or running them over in tanks as they're in labor, blocking their food support and supply, bombing their ambulances, killing their press, killing their teachers, killing their doctors, killing their scientists. A hostage exchange that saw Palestinian hostages being released from prisons for being detained years before October 7th, being released in damn near vegetative fucking state. No one is waiting for you to wake up and say, oh my God, you're right. That was bad. I shouldn't have. You can't spell Noah without the what? The no. As in, no, I'm not holding space for you. No, I'm not holding a door open for you. No, no one is waiting for you to re-enter our society. No one wants to be in community with people like you who think like you. So why in like 5, 15, or 50 years, the Gazans, if there are even any left, can deal with you being like, you guys should get over it. It wasn't that bad. That's all they do is bring up the genocide card. Why should my tax dollars pay for your reparations? I didn't bomb you myself. You're not new, Noah. We know you very, very, very well. There is a lot of American trauma experienced by Americans at the hands of America that this genocide is resurfacing. This is why you were hearing from Indigenous Americans and Black Americans and Muslim Americans. We know what it's like to be considered lower than an animal, to be considered a fucking bug, to be hunted, to be rounded up with permission and approvals and bounties paid for by the state. You know what it's like to have bombs dropped on us, to have our towns burned to the ground, to be penned into poverty and left to fucking drown. Homes taken, land taken, forced migration, prison camps, labor camps. We've experienced it here in America, the country where you live and where you were from, like in real life, Noah. Also, this is like my rant now, but like this is why I say white supremacy and not whiteness, because a lot of you, plural out there, signed your pledge when you got your assimilation contracts to uphold white supremacy and to uphold anti-Blackness, and you thought you would get some sort of economic or like personal safety out of it. Putting your head down won't save you. It comes for everybody. Anyway, that's why he can't gaslight us. That is why saying that things have been misconstrued does not work. That's why saying it's a complicated conflict doesn't work. You're not talking to educated and informed people. You're talking to experienced people. You can't educate us over our experience. You can't explain our experience to us. That is why this propaganda shit does not work. I also have to laugh because like Israel is using America's like failed propaganda toolkit. Like, do not take war advice from like a country that has failed every single occupation, that has failed every colony, including the one that I'm sitting in. Collapsing power grids, half the shit is frozen or underwater. Potholes, unemployed, toothless, can't afford medications, let alone housing. The wars in my lifetime, failure. Like 10 times more soldiers come back from Iraq and Afghanistan and unalive themselves than are actually killed overseas in action. No amount of Blue Angel flyovers or being shamed into standing for the anthem is gonna make me feel a different kind of way about what this country has done to us. Shame. Anyway, this is why you can't gaslight me or us. Just stay where you're at, stay there. The door is closed. Oh, you feel bad? Okay. You missed back when everyone liked you? Okay. You're mad because you don't think this should ruin your life and your career? Okay. Like so. Noah is now just an example that we could use. Noah's a great example of just how broken brain you have to be a Zionist. The Torah prohibits homosexuality, and he has found a pretty rational way to like practice his religion and adapt it for his modern life and lifestyle, as sane people tend to do. But the other half of his brain, the Zionist half of his brain, the broken side of it, sees no wiggle room from this origin theory that some guy made up 2 centuries ago. That plot of land that the US and Britain threw Jewish people to 75 years ago is Israel. No room for history, no room for any other sort of way of thinking, no way for modern thinking attached to that, right? Anyway, if I was gonna give Hollywood any advice, I would say go back to the drawing board and like recast your like Zionist propaganda machine. If you're gonna like siphon from Judaism, like recast with like fundamentalists. Don't bring the most messy, like morally decrepit fucking people from Hollywood up to the forefront. Like we've seen like active married adulterers, like well-known onset bullies, like blackface wearers, like adult male predators who've dated teenagers, like unmarried, like sexually promiscuous influencers, like Michael Rappaport, who was on here rage spiraling about how he wanted to have like the children of Gaza stripped to their underwear. Like, who is casting this?
Noah Schnapp made an apology video. Yeah, clout is a major drug, because like literally 2 months ago he was saying that Zionism was sexy, but now he's walking it back. And it's kind of coincidental that he's making this apology video, right when they're starting to shoot Stranger Things season 5. It's almost like some of his co-stars got in his ear and said, hey, they're starting to harass us and call us Zionists, and we're starting to get negative attention, and we're starting to lose supporters. So I'm gonna need your twink ass to get behind that camera and make an apology video so we can look better. Unfortunately, people with actual non-hive minds don't forget about the bullshit that you were spewing just a few months ago. And you can't just get your clout back by making an apology video. Ask any YouTuber. So pack it up, buddy. Get ready for Stranger Things to tank, and get ready for your career to tank. Not like you were getting any bookings anyway. I mean, you don't really got much to offer before the Zionism stuff. But just a lesson to the rest of y'all, bullying does work when it's directed towards the right people, and obviously with the right motivations. He is a Zionist, and he should be punished for having that ideology, but not only having the ideology, but also making propaganda off of that ideology, making it seem like it's okay to be a Zionist. It's okay to eradicate a group of people and steal their land. No, it is not.
What I believe, and I wanted to just state from my heart how
I kept watching this, trying to understand why it felt so eerie. Then I saw the comments saying, oh, he looks like he's laughing. And so I just kept rewatching, and then it clicked. Those expressions are like the exact same that my sociopathic ex used to use when he was trying to convince me that he cared about me. Am I saying that this guy is a sociopath? No, I'm just saying that is why this video raised the hair on my neck. My ex was clinical. I just didn't know it until later. And catching that kind of insincerity can be hard, but I find that people who are trying to convince you of something that they don't actually feel, they over dramatize. Does that make sense? Like, even in the subtlety, like they have this awareness that they don't believe the emotion that they put forward, so they feel like they have to punctuate every expression while actively suppressing actual expression to convince you. And then also, like, your brain is wired to have emotional responses to certain facial expressions and pitches and inflections of voice. So a lot of times it's not even about actually consciously convincing you, it's about triggering emotional responses that will then trigger thoughts and ideas and feelings.
I feel like my thoughts and beliefs have been so far misconstrued from anything even close to what I believe.
This is so sinister, and that's the thing about white supremacists, is that they literally gaslight you into thinking that the things that you saw with your own eyeballs and heard with your own ears, like, wasn't real. Like, it's literally in this man's best interest to just double down on thinking that Zionism is sexy. They're making this bullshit ass fucking video. Like you took a stance. You took a stance, baby. Stay strong in that stance. We all saw it. By the way, Will Byers was one of the worst developed characters since Debbie fucking Gallagher, so we don't give a fuck.
We do not care about your apology. Like, first of all, you was making fun of kids dying in Palestine. And also, it seemed as though you did not give a fuck what was going on overseas, because you continue doing you continue supporting businesses that were funding the genocide, all these crazy shit. And it's like, now nobody's watching your movies, everybody want to get rid of you, and now you want everybody's sympathy. No sympathy over here, absolutely not. Celebrities have this idea that because they are rich and famous, they can get away with what they say. And now that people are holding him accountable for his behavior, he's all like, oh, I didn't say anything, I didn't do anything. No, you did, and now we're holding you accountable for it. Learn how to educate yourself on issues and not run your mouth. Simple. The problem with y'all is that y'all can get on this app and run your mouth like diarrhea, but don't know the facts. And that's your problem. So yeah, that is why nobody's messing with you, nobody's watching your shows, nobody's looking to you, nothing. We don't care. At the end of the day, you decided to be funny and make fun of people dying in Palestine. So we're going to be laughing while your career is dying as well. Have a good night.
You guys. So ahead of allegedly Stranger Things season 5 beginning filming today, Noah Schnapp, one of the main stars of it, has released an apology. And the thing that I love about the internet is that things are forever. No matter what you post, no matter what you say, someone somewhere will have a screenshot.
Hey guys, it's Noah. I just wanted to come on here super briefly just to discuss everything that's been going on online. I feel like my thoughts and beliefs have been so far misconstrued from anything even close to what I believe.
Lucky for Noah, we have his thoughts and beliefs. This is why I always find it so insane that celebrities post on social media without like a PR machine behind them. Because we're quoting you. We're not misconstruing your words. You said this with your chest. That you're afraid, that you're scared, that you either stand with terrorism or you stand with Israel. Liking some 2 million Palestinians with terrorists, referring to Hamas as ISIS, praising the IDF, sharing stickers of Zionism is sexy. The same Zionism that caused the ethnic cleansing and the Nakba of like some hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, that has been continuously eroding like Palestinian identity and culture as well as like literal civilian livelihood within occupied Palestine. That's sexy. Like, we all saw this. You're trying to rewrite history and like wear this like all white outfit, like super serious, like, hey guys, like, I hate cancel culture as much as the next person, but there's something about having an opinion on international politics and like genocide that I feel like you can't just like cover under the rug with a silly little video and, you know, like deep sighs and regrets. People fundamentally think that Netflix are behind this because they're so worried about the boycott because of obviously the pressure that's been on Starbucks and McDonald's. I just want to say, even if he bought you, even if he won you over with that super serious I just want peace, which that's the other thing I was going to say. Someone who is pro-Israel or neutral that says I just want peace doesn't get it. They don't get it, and they're secretly pro-Israel. For someone to say I just want peace doesn't fundamentally understand the situation, because Israel have repeatedly said there's no two-state. They don't allow Palestinians' right to return, and if you leave for an extended period of time in Jerusalem, your citizenship is revoked. They are fundamentally pushing for only Jewish right of self-determination. This man made a video saying Zionism means Jews definitely, and that is fundamentally Israel's policy, except it's Jews only. And he also likened Palestinian supporters to Nazis. So if you want a reason to boycott Stranger Things, you've got two. And they act as if the internet isn't forever, when it is. So please don't buy into this. Your thoughts and feelings and political beliefs were not misconstrued. You spread stickers around like cities of Zionism is sexy and likened millions of people to terrorists. So no one's gonna watch your show, I'm sorry.
So this is all I have from this video, and number one is that they think that we are stupid. You know, sometimes what you do, you know, come back to you, and when it comes, it's like karma, you know, and some people comes really so fast and quick. And not long ago, he was tweeting that like, you know, that Zionism is sexy, like, you know, pledging his support and all that for what to Israel and what is going on all over the world. And he kept tweeting, made even a mug out of it and all that. And to him, he was living the life, you know, and not knowing that, I mean, time will come when people will boycott everything he's doing and all the things that got to do with him. And then he ran back, you know. They think that we are stupid. They think that we don't know anything, because for him to come out like, you know, it was misconstrued and all that. There is nothing like misconstruction and all that, because everything he said, we are still all up on social media. So we are quoting him, what he said. And nobody is saying that, I mean, like, we fabricated this or you did not fabricate. It was just all you said that people brought back to you. And why did he apologize? From this video, you definitely will know that this is not a sincere apology. And moreover, we do not need his apology. people are already moving on, not really moving on from what is going on. I mean, like when you say some certain things, people will hold you down. Maybe not immediately, but eventually they will still hold you down for it. And a lot of boycott has already been happening. And people already said that Stranger Things are going to be boycotted, whether they like it or not. And people made it like, you know, made it like, oh, like they said it. And now the season like is almost there. They have already started a new season, right? And he is still part of the cast. And they told him, you are going to make an apology, you know, because this may affect our business, right? So why he came out to apologize is not because he is really sorry. Because as it stands, this young man is not sorry, you know. He actually came out because he has to save the movie that he is casting on. And also the producers were like, you have to apologize because we don't want it to affect our business. So the reality is going to hit you all real soon. The reality is that you are going to lose viewers because people are not going to watch anything on Netflix. People are not going to watch Stranger Things. You know, when we tell them that we are boycotting, they think we are being stupid. We are not being stupid. We know what we are doing because in the end, oh no, it always looks like we are stupid and they are smart. So it is our turn to tell you all that we are not even stupid at all. We know what we are doing. They think that they can gaslight people, you know, and come back to make a silly apology. Now, let me tell us something. There are some things you say. That's why I call them keypad warriors. People are going to stay behind their keypads and type before you know what's going on. They send it out and not knowing that you see that seconds it takes you to keypad warrior in your convenient whatever and all that and send that out. That may destroy your life. You know? That's why there are some things you don't speak up on. But I am happy that he spoke on this because that also shows and tells us their heart towards us. Because anybody that can support Israel, what they are doing to the children and some other places, if you as a human being can support that, we do not need people like you around us. And that is on period. I don't know how you want to say it, but that is how I say it. If you can say the truth and cover up the truth, we don't belong in the same space. So this is all I got to say. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. Bye for now.